I'm being watched by something, and it told me to run. On October 4th, 2021, I was kicked out of my parents' house, and my boyfriend was so kind to let me move in with him. I've been staying here since. It's not new to me to be in the presence of spirits, as they tend to be drawn to me. This is different though, and it started shortly after moving in with my boyfriend. At first, it was just an eerie feeling of being watched, especially at night. I could feel it in the room, and whatever it wasn't anything nice. It got so bad to the point where my boyfriend suggested we sleep with his nebula light on so we would get some visuals in the room. Well, that only made matters worse, because now I could see this thing standing by the corner of the bed. It would just look at us, but it felt so creepy. Of course, I told my boyfriend all about it, and he believes me, so he said he was sure his mom would look over us. His mom passed away in 2020, and her ashes are here with us. I, too, think she's here, but she's definitely not the presence I've been feeling. This has a very passive feel to her, compared to the thing that watches us at night. Well, my boyfriend was working at night during the time when stuff really started happening. I was alone most of the time, and I'm not gonna lie, but I was scared too. Several times while I showered, I could feel it watching me. I couldn't see it, but I could feel it. I told my boyfriend immediately about it, and the very next day, I got the feeling of being watched while in the shower again. Except this time, I could see a silhouette of it standing right outside the shower curtain. I quickly finished my shower and headed back into the room and locked myself in. I called my boyfriend and told him all about it. He was freaked out. He said he didn't know what to do and that he was scared this thing would try and hurt us. I was too. But I reminded him of something. Back before I moved in with him, we would sleep on FaceTime quite often because we missed sleeping together, and sometimes he'd fall asleep faster than I would, so I'd just lay in bed and hear him breathing until I finally dozed off myself. Several times I would hear his room door open and be slammed very loudly, or objects be placed on his nightstand. I always waited to see if it was him who'd waken up. I'd even whisper his name, and it was never him. He always told me, "It's probably my mom," or "You're hearing things, it wasn't me." I know it wasn't his mom. Don't ask me how, I just do. Well, after our conversation about the thing that watched me in the shower, I decided that the next time I saw it, I'd speak to it. And sure enough, the next day, it was watching me in the shower again. I told it to just leave us alone, and that I knew that it bothers him that I spoke to my boyfriend about it. I promised I wouldn't tell my boyfriend anything if he'd just let me shower in peace, and that was that. But of course, I told my boyfriend. Nothing happened, for a few days actually, until one morning. I was having a terrible dream, so I woke up and just laid in bed, staring at the wall beside me. But out of the corner of my eye, I could see something watching me from the foot of the bed. My head started throbbing and my ears started ringing. Then it climbed up on me. It was a woman with long black hair. Her hair draped like a curtain surrounding my face. She leaned close to my face and began making those creepy noises into my ear. And then suddenly, in this very raspy voice, she whispers,
"Run, run, 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 run."
Now, I'm not religious, but in that moment, I began to pray, and when I did, she lifted herself off of me. I lie there in bed still, horrified and unable to move, and just when I thought it was over, she climbs on me again, and immediately I break out into prayer. This time I don't stop. I pray for about an hour and slowly began to lift my body in the direction of which she came from. She wasn't there anymore. I haven't seen them since, but I'm scared they'll come back. I don't know what to do. Are we in danger? I think the water plant is haunted. Hello everyone, I'm a water treatment plant operator. I've been doing this for about a decade. I've been the night shift guy my whole career. The nights are normally quiet and can be boring if everything's going to plan. My plant has a few different buildings. The oldest is 60 or so years old. The main building I spend a majority of the shift in is only roughly 20 years old. For more backstory of the area, this used to be a booming, energized area. This area was littered with railroad tracks and drifters coming and going on the trains for yesterday. Our farmers and factories were very bountiful back then. Now that you all understand that, you must also understand that with success in the area, there's also a darkness. From the settling of the area, wars with natives, and even into the 30s and 40s of people being killed in train wrecks and bad business deals, the grounds are laced with a darkness. The silence of the night shift can be eerie, all on its own. Lots of bumps and bangs in the dimly lit darkness. On the night I'm now about to speak about, everything started out as normal. I came in around sunset, got the nightly passover, and began my work. Around midnight, I had to do my rounds around the property while getting the nightly pump numbers. I made my rounds with nothing but a flashlight around the main building. The oldest building is a good walking distance away from the main building. I sat out in the dark, headed out for that building. I must also add that we aren't in the nicest area of town. However, I'm a big guy and can hold my own. As I made my walk, I got an uneasy feeling. I had gotten them before, but I have a job to do, and nothing came out of it. I rounded the corner and unlocked the door. As I did, the hairs on the back of my neck stood up. Again, I have a job to do, though. I opened the door, and there stood nothing. I walked in and proceeded to get my numbers. I turned around to walk out to the exit. As I turned to shut the door, I looked up and down the hallway to see a woman in pure white looking at me through the other door. I almost jumped out of my boots and pissed myself a little. I fell backwards. As I came back to reality, I once again made eye contact with this entity. As I met her gaze, everything in me said, "Hey, your life's in danger, buddy." Her face distorted and started to shift. I was now frozen as she shifted into what looked like an Indian warrior. His eyes were glowing. As I got to my feet, he had shifted into this huge wolf creature. The growls were chilling, to say the least. It snarled and then ran towards me. I had no time to even shut the door. I ran as fast as I could, screaming bloody murder. I felt it trying to bite the back of my legs. It got a hold of my pants and tore it to shreds. I stumbled and rolled, but somehow I managed to come up on my feet. I darted into the main building as I shut the door, and I felt a hard thud on the other side. I locked the door and cowered down inside. I could hear the thing casing the building, growling and scratching at the walls. I got the courage to look out the window, just ended up face to face with the white lady again. I had the police come and sit with me until the sun came up. No one else has seen the white lady since. It's still quite freaky, but I have a job to do.